Hi, welcome to Bagpipe. My name is Jing. I'm the CEO of Bukit Vista, and today we'll be talking about the top 5 mistakes in marketing a new Airbnb property in Bali. I've had over a decade of experience in doing this, and during that time we've seen a lot of owners waste a lot of time and a lot of money on making some of the most basic mistakes. So hopefully with this YouTube video you'll be able to benefit from the experience that we've gained over the past decade. Okay, let's talk about the first mistake. The first mistake is a lot of property owners, they come to our office, they say, should I invest in Ubud? Should I invest in Canggu? What about Seminyak, Nusa Dua, the Bukit? How's Bingen doing? The answer I always say is, instead of looking at the location, what you should consider is what is the potential for an amazing guest experience. You may have a fantastically uptrending location, but maybe you forgot to examine the micro conditions around that particular location. Perhaps there's a 100-bedroom hotel that's going to be under construction for 3 years right next to your house. So in that particular situation, your particular location might be good in the macro sense, but terrible in the micro sense. Always pay attention to essentially how much that particular location can impact guest experience. Now let's go the opposite way. A Balinese young entrepreneur came to us and they were looking for an idea. And so they came up with something quite innovative. They went to Karangasem, which is in East Bali, found a forest, and then they decided to build a tree house out of bamboo there. That's one of the strongest and most successful ROI stories that I've ever had. I think it's around 300 to 400% ROI in a single year. And mainly that return on investment came from looking for a location that had not actually developed a marketplace yet. And he was able to bring value to a location that had no trend, that had no predecessors, because he saw the vision in this particular guest experience. So location is better understood through the bigger context of guest experience. Mistake number 1. Mistake number 2. Mistake number 2 is something we see all the time, and many other property management companies make this mistake. They brag or they think about putting their property on hundreds, if not thousands of channels. From what we've discovered, this is completely nonsensical, and this is also very bad in terms of a strategy. Now why? If you're looking to actually build the highest return in the shortest amount of time, then you're better off going with essentially a platform that is going to grow the fastest. So let's say you decide to take your property and you put it on Airbnb, Traveloka, and Booking.com. What will happen after a year is you might have 5 reviews on Airbnb, another 5 on Booking.com, and maybe 3 or 4 on Traveloka. So now your reviews are spread out everywhere, but what also is bad is that your ranking is not good on any particular channel. You're probably on the 5th page of Airbnb search, the 20th page of Booking.com, and maybe you're hardly able to be found on Traveloka. It happens because most of the online travel agencies will essentially rank you according to your availability and to your past performance. So the fewer times you're available on their platform and the less performance you've shown on their platform, the lower your ranking. If you're coming to Bukit Vista, what we recommend is to use Airbnb, which we've seen to be actually the best fit for unique single unit properties that are looking to grow quickly and earn that fast return on investment. Okay, so that's putting yourself on too many channels. Mistake number 3. Mistake number 3 is thinking about your management business short term. What does short term thinking mean? It means that let's try to do this myself as much as possible. Let's try to save some money. How do I save money? I'll take some direct bookings. I'll take my bookings offline. Maybe I'll cancel a booking and replace it with a better booking. Let's talk about that first mistake. This is very common, and a lot of people ask me what they should do. Should they take a direct booking? And I asked them, why would you take a direct booking? Because I don't have to pay the platform. This is actually a understanding fallacy. You're never really paying the platform anyway, and I'll explain why. So let's say, for example, your property is marketed for $100 on Airbnb. The guest would then pay $115 plus the Airbnb service charge for that particular stay. Owners ask me, well, what if the guest approaches me? What should I do? Well, when the guest approaches you, under no circumstance would a guest have seen your price think about paying you the $115 rate, because that's what they would get if they went on platform. They would offer to pay you only $100. So in that particular case, why even take that particular guest at the same rate that you would get on the platform anyway? You're not really getting any benefit. You're not going to get a review. You're also giving a discount as well, because it's going to cost a little bit more time and energy to process that. There's a higher risk involved, and plus, unbeknownst to a lot of owners, Airbnb does actually offer a host protection program called Air Cover. So if you have any valuables in your home, like a TV, like a refrigerator, like anything that you would like to protect, it is much, much better to take the guest on platform and receive that protection rather than taking direct bookings. The other thing is about canceling bookings. Should I cancel a short-term booking for a bigger or a better booking that I get from another channel? Whether or not you know it or not, you probably have leased a piece of land for about 20 years or you own a freehold property. So this particular brand that you're looking to achieve is going to be there for the next several decades. You don't really want to sacrifice the brand that you're building and be known as a host or a business that betrays their customers. So short-term wise, yes, it might make sense. You might make another 100 or even a few extra $1,000. But long-term wise, what you're doing is you're hurting your brand. And platforms like, let's say, Airbnb, Traveloka, and Booking.com, they will punish this type of behavior through downranking you on the overall ranking. So that's the third most common mistake, short-term thinking versus long-term thinking. Mistake number 4. Mistake number 4 is really just thinking too much about your weaknesses and not really understanding or discovering your strengths. I hear this happen a lot. Property owners will come over to our office and they will say, my property is too small, or the design isn't as good as it could be. And that's a very natural feeling. You're in a very competitive market space. There's a lot of people with humongous budgets and large teams, and they have very sophisticated architects, interior design. But rest assured that that's not the entire picture. That the guest experience, going back to the holistic point of view, is comprised of many different things. It's comprised of the location, it's comprised of your design, it's comprised of the amenities that you offer in your particular property. Do you and your team and the people around this property make the guests feel welcome, anticipate their needs, and create an experience that is 5-star? The other thing you can think about to market yourself competitively is thinking about pricing and discounts and special offers from time to time to actually match consumer demand to supply. So let's go through a few examples. We've seen this many, many times. Let's say, for example, you're in a pretty remote location. Your location is not nearly as popular as the highlight locations that everyone talks about, the Canggus, the Seminyaks, and such. So what can you do? You can build a better design. People will gravitate towards experiences that are so unique in places that are so different because they just show up so well on visual searches like Instagram, like Airbnb. So this is a strong attribute. Let's say you're in a very competitive area like Canggu and there's a lot of other people offering a very similar design. Your location's not too far apart. What can you do to distinguish yourself? Start thinking about the hospitality experience. Can your staff deliver infused water on check-in? Can they think of a special breakfast that involves, let's say, a new spin on foods that guests might appreciate? Any other particular cultural highlights that might really supercharge that guest experience? So that's mistake number 4, focusing on weaknesses, not on strengths. Last mistake is hiding and obscuring information. Well, what if there's something really bad? What if there's a construction site that is hindering guest experiences? We recommend to be as transparent as possible. Actually, just be 100% transparent about your property. Ultimately, on platforms like Airbnb, you will be graded according to your accuracy. And the more often that guests find that you're not accurate, the more downranked your ranking becomes. This diminishes your visibility. It becomes harder to actually see your particular listing. So what's the right way to kind of deal with this situation? One, you have to see things objectively in this case. You have to see that, well, if you do have a construction site next to your property, there are guests that will accept that. There are guests that essentially just sleep in the property, and in the very early days, they will go out and they'll do a routine outside, whether it's to work or to travel. In those cases, you've actually locked in a particular guest whom the construction does not actually influence that much. Because you're targeting a more narrow segment of guests, it would be appropriate in this particular case to offer a discount. After all, the experience to the guests will be somewhat diminished with the construction site. So the correct thing is to actually think about the impact to the guest experience and reveal it. You might be surprised. Some of the things that you think are maybe bad could actually be highlights. These are some of the ideas that I think are very, very important to understand. These are the most common mistakes that I've seen during the progress of getting started on marketing property in Bali. Once again, this is Jing. I'm part of the Bagpipe program here at Bukit Vista, part of the Bali Business Review. And if you like what you've seen, please like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I'll be hoping to see you on the next episode.